Hey friends, guess what we're doing today? We are reviewing all of my tomato varieties which I've grown this year. So I have one of each variety here. We'll cut them open. So I show you the inside. We'll do a taste test. I know that's very subjective, but yeah, we'll see what I think.
Yeah, and taste is obviously very, very subjective, so I try to explain it well, like the wine connoisseurs, you know. A little bit acidity on the back left of your tongue. Just kidding. We'll just go through it one by one. But there are four different kind of tomato groupings, I would argue. I have some heirloom tomatoes. That is where the Cherokee Purple, the Black Crim, the Pink Berkeley Tie Dye fall under. Then I have two varieties of dwarf tomato, which is the Firebird Suite and the Johannes Price. And then I have paste tomatoes, which is the Amish Paste, the Plum Perfect, the Midnight Roma, and then two cherry tomatoes as well, the Sweetie and the Sun Gold. Last year I grew for the first time paste tomatoes and really enjoyed the consistency and the quality sauces. And the sauces is really what we use the tomatoes most for. As you can see here, we're already swimming in a good amount of tomatoes. So tomorrow will be my first tomato sauce canning day. But before, I want to show you what I got here. So in terms of plants, I have, I think, eight paste tomato plants. I have 6 heirloom variety and 3 of the cherry tomatoes, which I would argue is one too much. two is already plenty for our family of 4 here. And then the cool 2 dwarf varieties where I have one of each. So those were really, really exciting one. How about we start with them, because those ones I'm really excited to look into and see how they taste. I haven't had a chance to taste those ones. Those were the first ripe ones here. So let's talk a little bit about the Firebird Suite. This one, who hooked me up on that one? Oh, I think that was Erin from the Impatient Gardener, who grew this last year, and I saw it in one of her videos and thought it was so cool, and she was raving about the taste, so I'm very, very excited. And I gotta say, like, this color is already beautiful. The plant by itself was interesting to see grow, because what is the deal with dwarf tomato plants is they don't grow like other, like the Cherokee Purple or the Black Crim. They can like go like 10, 12 feet if you let them. And those dwarf tomato plants are supposed to tucker out in a height of like 4 to 6 feet, which is perfect for the trellis I have. So I was really excited to try those ones. And what was interesting to see is it was a lot more compact. Like the branches were not as wide as you see it sometimes from the Pink Berkeley or the Cherokee Purple, which was very, very classic wide branching tomato plants, very, very eager to grow all of them. But the fruit set was very, very comparing to the other ones. They were just like more compact plants in general. Same was for the Johannes Price. Unfortunately, I actually lost a couple of them because they had so many fruit on a low-hanging branch, where one of our recent storms unfortunately made the branch crash. But happens, what should I say? Um, let's cut into the Firebird Suite. I was waiting for that all week long. Oh, looks very, very nice on the inside. It's quite more meaty than I thought it would be. It's good. It's really good. I would say more on the bright side of the tomato flavor. Acidity high, not super sweet, more like on the savory side. Let's move on with Johannes Price here. It's a beautiful, like orangey looking tomato, really, really nice. From its growth habits, the size is on the larger side, and most of the tomatoes, that was a smaller one of the ones I had on the plant. So, and the same with the growing habit, it was more compact like the Firebird Suite. But let's cut into that one. Also gorgeous, surprisingly meaty again. I know my black rim or the pink Berkeley tie dye are usually not that meaty. They're a little bit more seedy. Let me taste that one. Mm. This is a notch more sweet than the Firebird Suite, but also very bright and very acidic, but delicious. So I really like that. Not really watery or so. It's like, let me get one more. A solid tomato tasty tomato. All right. Um, those were delicious. I do think my heirloom varieties knock the taste off the chart, though, if we're thinking of what would be my top 3 varieties in terms of taste. The Let's move on with the pink Berkeley tie dye. This one is a gorgeous one. I love it. This green speckling on the tomato gets me every time. It's so, so beautiful. This, like all of my larger varieties, are splitting on the top because we had so much rain this year. We have it with all of them. And in fact, there's actually more coming right now. I hope we get that video done before it starts raining. But they're all split on the top, which happens when you get that amount of rain, which we get. It's an unusual amount of rain. Anyway, beautiful, always very sizable tomatoes. This is the 3rd year I'm growing them, and yeah, I really, really love it. And it's for me one of those perfect sandwich tomatoes. It also takes the color a little bit on the inside. It is more dark on the inside than, for example, the 2 varieties we just had. And when we talk about taste, this is a little bit more seedy than the other 2 varieties. So if you don't like seedy tomatoes, that might not be your choice. Mm. But it is delicious. It is a lot more. Sorry, shouldn't talk with a full mouth, right? Where are my manners? But this one is a lot more balanced flavor. It doesn't come along as acidic as the other 2, which we just had. I love that flavor. It is a little bit watery because you have, oh, not watery in terms of watered down taste, but you have from the texture feeling in your mouth a little bit more watery experience because you have so many seeds in it. I do love that one from a taste perspective. So, and from the look. So I think that is a forever grow for me. Let's move on with the black crim, which is very, which is very similar looking to the Cherokee Purple. But I gotta say, when you look up close, the Cherokee Purple has a little bit more purpley hue to it, while the black crim swings more into the brown, dark, blackish corner of the color scheme. So black crim, let's look at that. This is one of my forever grows because I love the taste so much. It is also beautiful on the inside. Again, this one is on top, also a little bit cracked, but just because of our watering is usually really gets really dark on the inside as well. And also a little bit more seedy, not as seedy as the pink Berkeley tie dye, but um, definitely more seedy than the Firebird Suite and the Johannes Price. Mm. This taste always gets me though. This is why it's on my forever grow list. It is a very soft tomato taste, if that makes sense to you. It's low in acidity to me. It is a little bit more soft texture. I guess that's where the softness comes from, but it's like melt in your mouth tomato. I love it. It's so good. So let's go with the Cherokee Purple next. This is the first time I'm growing them, and I had like a lot of good feedback on it and really was curious to see how it compares to my favorite, the black crim, and looks very similar. What's that? I have some funny other things growing in it. Looks a little bit interesting on the inside, but I'm sure it's fine. Surprisingly, not as seedy as the black crim or the pink Berkeley tie dye. It's a little bit more substantial. But let me try a bite. Hmm. Oh, that one's good too. Oh, that one's really good too. Hmm. Again, like I'm not a fan of those bright, really strong acidic tomato flavors. And this is on the very opposite side of the spectrum. It is very mild, very delicious. Again, it melts in your mouth again. Super soft. Oh, that is a good one. That is a strong contender to the black crim. Like, yeah. I need to rethink that. And then let's move on to the paste tomatoes. So that is a monster. That's the Amish paste. And who hooked me up on that one? That's the first time I'm growing them. Oh, Melia from Growing Simply in Nevada. That's her favorite paste tomato. And I was really curious to see and to grow this. Those plants were massive. They were bigger than any one of my heirloom tomato, and those paste tomatoes are usually determinate varieties, which means they don't grow as fast. That one was bigger than anything else, but not bigger in size with fruits. It was just more stringy from its plant growth, and I had that in like 2 places in my garden. Same kind of growing behavior, and it all had plenty of light. Didn't have to go that stringy to reach for light or anything. So interesting plant behavior. So like more like large, long, skinny branches compared to the rest, which made that a little bit troubled here in our high wind areas because the fruits, as you can see, are so massive. So just imagine I had like clusters of 2 or 3 hanging and dangling on a branch. So they look sketchy here in our area to grow, and a few came also down prematurely in a windstorm. So not fully sure if I will grow those again, but they look meaty. So let's have a look inside. Oh my, yes, it's basically only meat. Isn't it wild? So yeah, I can see how that is a prime paste tomato to make a lot of sauce out of it. Let's see what it tastes like. Oh, there's really almost no seeds in it. Wild. Yep, solid tomato taste. Again, a little bit more on the acidic side. Not as acidic as the Firebird and the Johannes Price. So it swims a little bit in the middle when it comes to acidity, but it's very, very chewy due to the fact that it's so meaty. But I'm sure that makes excellent sauce. And then the next one, this is my Forever Grow Paste tomato. It is beautiful. It's makes amazing sauce, roasting for everything. It's super, super easy. Also very, very meaty on the inside. Not as meaty as the Amish paste, which we just saw, but quite meaty as well. And yeah, the sauce I made with those ones last year was terrific. And when I compare the number of fruits those plants are producing compared to the Amish paste, I gotta say the Plum Perfect has here for me almost double, or maybe even a little bit more than double the fruit count. Yes, they're smaller, so I'm not exactly sure how that will relate in terms of how much sauce I will get out of it. Um, but it is really the most productive plant in terms of fruits which I've seen so far in my garden. Mm. and I love their taste. Those ones are, again, not so super acidic. You can see here a theme. The Amish Paste is a little bit more compared to this one. Yeah, just love it. It's a really good one. And then another one which is new to me, and yes, I purely just grew it because of her looks and because I was curious for the taste. As you might know, the Midnight Roma is a variety which comes from Rose 7 seed. If you've watched a few of my previous videos, you know um, I love the seed company because they grow their small or few varieties for taste. And if you grow tasty things, you will always have me on your side. So for that reason, I was really excited to try these ones. And I mean, look at them. They are just gorgeous. So curious to see what they taste like. And like, oh, look how interesting they look on the inside. Also quite meaty. They're a Roma in the end, so also a paste tomato. I gotta say they're on the smaller side, so smaller than my Plum Perfect and definitely smaller than the Amish Paste. Um, in terms of number of fruits, they are in between the Plum Perfect and the Amish Paste. So they have not as many as the Plum Perfect, but more than the Amish Paste. And the interesting thing though with them is the dark coloring always faces the sun, so you can't fully see if they're ripe because you always have to turn them a little bit to see because the area which is here now red was green before, so you always have to like look around the corner to see if they are ripe or not. But again, like super, super beautiful. So let me see what they taste like. Oh, interesting. Um, I would say a rather unique taste. Again, not surprised coming from Rose 7. Um, it is a little bit more on the bright side, so a little bit more acidic, but really, really delicious. It is more firm from its taste, so it doesn't have the softness you have from the Cherokee Purple or the Black Crim, but it works well with the taste. It is a very, very well balanced, not so super acidic tomato. I think that one makes it for me definitely in the top 3, I would argue. We'll see. And then my little cuties, my cherry tomatoes. So the Sun Gold, the orange one, is a forever grow for me. I love it. This one here is a perfect tomato taste in one bite. If you've never grown them, get seeds, grow them, thank me later. And this one is a small one, just a plain red one, because sometimes I like simple things as well, and was curious to see how they taste. And yep, I gotta say, compared to the Sun Gold, this one is a rather, how should I say it diplomatically, um, like normal, unimpressed taste. It is a decent one, but compared to the Sun Gold, any other cherry tomato has a little bit of a trouble to stay on top of it. So let's look inside. So also very, very sweet. Both of those plants are vigorous. I gotta say the Sweetie is a little bit more vigorous than the Sun Gold. Um, and the only downfall, in my opinion, with the Sun Gold is it has a tendency to crack. So especially when you have a lot of rain, which you have this year, unfortunately, is I'll try to harvest them a notch earlier so they don't crack for me in the rain, but they love to split. So you gotta watch out for that. Again, best tasting tomato ever. Mm. It combines the perfect amount of sweetness, acidic, softness, but with a bite. It's like, again, the perfect bite of tomato. And then the Sweetie, also very, very simple. This one is a lot more bright on your side, on the acidic side. So I love to dehydrate my cherry tomatoes because we have floods coming in at the moment of cherry tomatoes. So they get like just cut in half and put on the dehydrator. And what we do there is the dehydrated one, I drop them as little bursts of flavors into chili in the Instapot in the winter to let them rehydrate. And they're literally like little bursts of sunshine in the winter, which, yeah, I love. So that is why I actually opted to plant 3 cherry tomatoes. I knew that would be a lot, but to have them, to have a lot of dehydrated for the winter. So. Mm. Okay, I guess I got to make a decision here. Weather's also starting to turn, so we got to get going here. Um, well, number one is the sun gold. By far, perfect bite of tomato, as I made the statement just yet. I would go to put, and don't come at me, but I can't make decisions here, but I think the black crim and the Cherokee purple are equally delicious on number 2 for me. And then number 3, I would put the midnight Roma on it. Yeah, yeah, I think so. All right. I hope that was an interesting video for you to just see how the different tomatoes look like, how they look on the inside, how they taste, at least in my opinion. And yeah, let me know what you've grown this year, what was a surprise, which you like. I need a few more suggestions for my planting list for next year, so I'm really looking forward to your comments. And yeah, subscribe and watch another video. Thank you. Look who was hiding under my chair while I was recording. She hates the wind.